Hey guys. Okay, so in this week's video, what I want to talk about is the QHC, or the Queensland Housing Code, because I've received a heap of different questions from certifiers, building designers, just general industry professionals over the last week or so about this exact topic. Now, up front, I want to make it very, very clear that I'm not an expert in this topic. What I'm going to do today is just share what I do know and some personal opinions about what I do know, and then hopefully it'll spur more conversation. If anyone watching this video knows more than I do, please don't keep it to yourself. Share it, add some comments below, etc., etc. So, first thing you need to understand is that the QHC is going to replace MP 1.1 and MP 1.2 within the QDC. So, essentially, the housey rules when it relates to setbacks, site cover, all of that sort of stuff. Now, the various different local governments, so councils, have a period of 3 years within which that they can choose to implement. So, they've got three options. The first option is implement in full. Second option is implement part of it, some of it, choose how much they want to implement. And the last option is to go, bye, see ya, not for us, not going to have any part of this. So yeah, there's 3 years from the 1st of September, I believe it is, which is the release date, for them to turn around and decide, okay, are we going to adopt it? Are we not going to adopt it? So as far as Brisbane City Council in particular is concerned, right now it is business as usual. Yes, they're going to have to take some action, but it's not on the immediate pressing kind of agenda. Now to give you my opinions. I'm going to start with the negative. I don't like being a negative Nelly person, but I'm going to throw you the negative at you, and then I'll finish with two different positives so we finish on a good note. So the negative is the whole driver, or not the whole driver, a massive driver behind this kind of change or this new legislation is that people have decided that the current QDC was done back in 2010. It's old, it's outdated because it's not keeping up with modern requirements and all of that sort of stuff. They think everyone's kind of broken rank and all the different councils have gone and developed their own rules to deal with the modern pressures, modern housing needs, all of that sort of stuff. I call BS on that. Like, let the truck go past so you can still hear me. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say there's absolutely no truth to that, because there is some truth to that. But I think the bigger issue is that you cannot have a one-size-fits-all set of rules for the entire state. The pressures, the community expectations on a regional council are totally different to those that Brisbane City Council faces. So you can't sit here and say you can have one set of rules that's going to appease everyone. No, every council, in particular Brisbane City Council, is going to have to break rank and create their own version of the rules to suit their pain points, their constituents, all of that sort of stuff. So, whilst well intended, I don't think the idea of creating these new up-to-date rules, these new fresh, hot rules, is suddenly going to make everyone like Brisbane City Council go, oh, great, problem solved, we're going to let you take control here. No, Brisbane City Council is going to turn around and they're going to take the option of, we're going to do our own thing, thank you very much. So yeah, that is the negative Nelly take on things. The positives. So first and foremost, really minor one, but it's a bit of a game changer. Setbacks will be measured to the wall instead of the OMP, which aligns with the planning scheme rules and requirements, it avoids all of those unnecessary siting variation applications, which were just seeking approval for an eave to hang into that setback sort of area. Woohoo! We'll take that win. Second one is kind of a positive, has a potential negative to it. I shouldn't have done this last. I should have slipped this in and so I could ultimately finish on a positive note. We're here now, we're going to make it work. So essentially, at the moment, there is always that ambiguity in Brisbane in particular about, okay, does the planning scheme pick up the setbacks? Does the building legislation pick up the setbacks? Who assesses the setbacks? And I did a video a couple of months ago, might be a few months ago now, time flies, a little while ago, where I basically said that we were seeing a shift in terms of who's responsible for the siting variations. Certifiers are understandably sitting here saying, well, previously it was us dealing with the certifiers in council, so the building guys in council, we could all speak the same language, it was easy. Now we're dealing more so with town planners in there. We don't speak the town planner language, it's more complex. So we're seeing the shift of siting variations being handed over to town planners. So if these rules go ahead, as I understand them to go ahead, it's essentially going to bring the setbacks into the planning scheme in Brisbane, into the planning scheme, which means that then it can be assessed as part of the development assessment or the town planning pathway, which creates more of a clear pot of division between the things and gets rid of that messiness in between. The downside is, if you want to break the rules, and I hate that term, but it's a term that everyone else understands. So if you want to trigger a performance outcome against the setback requirements, instead of just going through a siting variation, you'd now have to go through a full development application. So it basically means, let's just cut straight to the chase. I charge more money for a development application than I do for a siting variation type application, because there's more paperwork involved, there's more time in council, there's more negotiations, there's all of that sort of stuff. So there's more work that goes into a development application than a siting variation application. So if you do happen to trigger, whilst the pathway forward is going to be a lot clearer, it's going to be a more expensive pathway for clients. Damn it, I did finish on negative. Let's see, can I come up with another positive? Okay, I've come up with a positive here. We're going to make this work. So it's a stepping stone. I always say this with changes in legislation, it's a stepping stone in the right direction. If we always, and I always use this analogy, you guys are probably sick of hearing it, but back in the old days, they used to drill into people's heads to alleviate headaches. Now we have Panadol. I love the fact that we have Panadol because we're always evolving, testing, trying new things. So this legislation, whilst it will never be perfect, and no legislation can ever be perfect because you're dealing with too many competing interests, but whilst it's not perfect, it's a step forward. A step forward is a positive thing. Boom, we got there, positive ending. Okay, I think I'm just going to wrap it up now while I've got that win. I think that covers off everything I want to talk about today, as I always like to say. Until next time, thanks for watching.
For all you red tape lovers out there, I have one thing to say. Well, no, actually, I've got three. Number one, the advice provided in these videos is general in nature. It's not site-specific. You would be a silly Billy to go and make financial decisions based on this advice without first checking with the town planner. Don't be a silly Billy. Number two, Brisbane town planning is in no way linked to Brisbane City Council. The views expressed in these videos are my own, not council's. So if you don't like them, blame me, not council. Number three, what was my number three? Oh yeah, the views expressed in these videos are accurate at the time of recording. If you're watching this video back 10 years from now, the views may not be so accurate. That's all.